you are allowed to go wrong because you are in a learning process. Come out of your shells, try to contribute. It could be in Hindi, Marathi, I don't mind. We can convert it into the language. Okay, and then we can, so language shouldn't be a barrier for sharing of ideas as such, right? As Ajay Gaikwad has already put it, that when you go to the industry, this is what is expected. Like, there are ready-made apps that are available, but you have to come up with, you have to brainstorm and you have to come up with the inputs. Unless and until you are having the correct inputs, you won't be able to come up with the desired output, even if ready-made solutions are available in the market, right? So that's where we started. Now, as you all can see, this part, advertising, digital platform committee, outdoor committee, permission committee, management committee, and jury, security, food, organizer arrangements, topics, and presentation, physical presentation, submissions, etc. So these were the different committees that were given, or they came up with the non-laptop team. Okay, whereas Deepika alone, she had come up with n number of activities that are included. Now, what is most important is that whenever you decide to come up with a process map, right? First of all, as the first point was identify the problem in our PPT. So identify the problem. Once the problem or the thing for which you have to prepare a process map has been decided, as in our case, it is intercollegiate project competition that a college is going to held 3 months from now, right? So today is the date. And that's where when you all were brainstorming, I had come up with the points like, how will this process start as such. So starting point is equally essential, because from there, one by one, you will be stepping down the uh, committee, the different activities, and accordingly the committee is to be prepared in order to take care of the different activities. So that's where we started with meeting of faculties and students. So initially we started with this, but the first meeting will be there with the management as well as with the faculty members, that a decision has been taken by the management with respect to that such and such competition is required to be, this event will be held in the college. And that's where then the faculties, along with the CRs, LRs, maybe they will be sitting together, they will be having a discussion, wherein in the discussion they will be deciding on the date. Okay, the faculty and the student that will be in charge for different committees as such. Then there will be review meetings. When will the review meetings be? That will be decided ki after 15 days or 10 days from today, we'll be meeting again to see, to look into how are things going on as per plan or no. Then a budget will be decided. The budget will be with respect to the different expenditures that will be incurred by the different committees, as well as the budget for the prizes. Okay, the venue will be decided. So all these decisions will be taken, or rather the decision taken by the management as well as the faculty members will be conveyed and finalized and confirmed in the meeting of faculty members and student in charges, right? So that's how the process is going to start. And now I want you all to come up with, we will be looking into one by one the committees, right? So the non-laptop team came up with the first committee, that is advertising committee. So let us start with this committee first. Now, essentially, whenever you plan to do a college activity, right? So that's where the first point comes, is that of communication, that such and such event is going to be taken place in your college, that has to be advertised. This communication has to pass through the different colleges. So now what will the advertising committee look into? What are the activities that it will be looking into? Now let us go committee wise, one by one. Yes, that's where you are open to come up with, make all your contributions. So it is an intercollegiate event that will be conducted in a city, say city of Pune. So what are the activity that will go into this committee members, advertising committee? What will they essentially look into? Yes. Yes, come up. When you decide to do advertising, what is it that you click that clicks your mind? When you say advertising committee, when the non-laptop team said on Friday, I believe. So what you meant by advertising committee? What are the activities that will be looked into by this committee? Can you come up with the activities? Anybody? Okay. So let us take us down as, first of all, we'll be preparing a brochure with respect to the activity that will be conducted, that will explain the details of the activities. Okay. Then advertising could be done by way of distributing the brochures, or you can say in days like today where we are having a WhatsApp communication. So that's where we can have an e-brochure, okay, which you can send across the WhatsApp groups. Then you will be essentially deciding upon the number of colleges, okay, that you will be tapping in order to make your advertisement across the entire city. Then further, since we are thinking about management colleges, that's where we will be deciding the different streams that will be participating into this competition. So these streams could be BBA, MBA if you consider management only. In case you all want to, again in BBA and MBA only, if these two streams you consider, again that would come up with the different specializations like marketing, finance, international business, human resources, okay, and IT. So these are the five what you can say specializations that we will be looking into, 5 for BBA and 5 for MBA. So in all, okay, in all you have how many? 10 streams as such, different specialization wise if you decide to have the competition. Okay, one more thing what the students were not clear of essentially is, when I got to know that when I entered into the breakout rooms, that ye kya hai madam, right? So that's where जब आप graduation करते हो तो you are supposed to do one of the projects at the last semester or the last year of your college, right? In case you are coming up from a graduation where you are not supposed to come up with a project, that's okay. But now essentially in MBA you will be required to come up with a project where you go out in organizations, you work over there, and जो भी काम आप करते हो उससे या उससे related you identify a topic and you do the work on it, and then you come up with the entire project as to how you have done the work. Okay, what have you learned from the work, what have you contributed to the organization from the project that you have carried out, and so on. And you are required to you prepare a project report, and a viva or a question answer session on this project report takes place by the internal faculty members as well as the external faculties that are coming from the university, because you don't have to write down a paper for this subject, and that's where you come up with the marks. So essentially these projects that are actually prepared by the students, right? So iski competition, intercollegiate level के competition हम लोग ले रहे हैं, right? So clear about, very much clear about the idea now. So that's where even if we consider the management stream, we are having 5 plus 5, okay, we will be having projects coming from these different specializations. Anything else? So that's what I could think for from the perspective of advertisement. Then essentially if you want, like we are considering this in the form of an in offline mode, so essentially the banners, okay, or the standees that we will be having outside our college for holding the competition, that's where we will be spending on. And then there will be a group of students essentially who will be visiting the other colleges Okay, and they will be saying that this and such is a competition that we are going to held. Do participate. It is going to be a very interesting event, and this will be adding a what you can say, adding an extra point to the CV of the student who has won the what you can say, the best project prize in this type of an intercollegiate level competition. So thereby the importance of the competition. And then the students visiting the other colleges, essentially they will be briefing about how the competition is, the manner in which it will be conducted, right? And what are the students who are participating in this competition, what are they supposed to be prepared with? So this will be done by, you can say, the advertising team of the students as such. So the another activity that we can identify over here is college visiting committee. So that's where amongst the student volunteers who have decided to join to take care of the competition, who are the students? They will be having a group, a 5 or 10 or 6, and out of which 2 of them they can go to different colleges. They will be tapping which colleges they will be going to within 1 month's duration, and giving a small presentation or just an explanation to the students, a 10-minute explanation. That's where they will be planning for. So again, over here, if you identify, they have required to identify the students that will be visiting the colleges, as well as in identifying or deciding on the presentation that they will be giving to the students where they are visiting. Okay, and yes, so that's where. Anything else you would like to add from your perspective that I have missed out on? You can always contribute. अगर अभी याद नहीं आ रहा है, बाद में कोई कमिटी करने के बाद आपको याद आता है, तो that's where also you can say, no issues. Okay, so this is about advertising. By way of advertising, making the people aware that such and so type of event will be organized in your college. Okay, so that's where the different activities that the advertising committee will be looking into. Then what the students had contributed is with respect to digital platform committee. Okay, so let me pick up this committee. That's where let me put that committee over here. Yes, digital platform committee. Now, can anybody tell me what did you all exactly mean by this digital platform committee?
Facebook, Instagram.
Yes. Yes. Please repeat.
Facebook and Instagram, Twitter.
Okay, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So that's where you will be sending your e-brochure. That's what you mean to say?
Yes.
Okay. So will that come in digital platform committee or advertising committee? Or rather, those who had come up with advertising and digital platform, what did they mean exactly by this? Why these two committees? Do we merge or do we keep them separate? You all decide and let me know.
I think we have to separate
yes.
it.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, speak.
मर्ज केलं तर ठीक राहील, कारण आता ई लर्निंग चालू आहे, सगळं ऑनलाईन एज्युकेशन चालू आहे, त्यामुळे
नाही,
कॉलेज
आपण ऑफलाईन मोड मध्ये कंडक्ट करतोय. ठीक आहे, असं आपण धरून चाललोय आणि त्या हिशोबाने आपण कमिटीज बनवतोय आता.
कारण कॉलेजमध्ये स्टुडंट ऑनलाईन असल्यामुळे आहेत का नाही त्यांना टॅकल करून कम्युनिकेट कसं करायचं हे तितकंच डिजिटली करू शकतो ना आपण जास्त.
येस डिजिटली करू शकतो, बरोबर आहे. पण ओके, सो यू आर कॉलिंग दिस, बट लेट अस आपण ऑफलाईन म्हणजे काय की मुलं कॉलेजमध्ये येऊन आपण ही कॉम्पिटिशन घेणार आहोत असं आपण आता कन्सिडर करतोय. का कन्सिडर करतोय? बिकॉज हे कन्सिडर केल्यानंतर जर ऑनलाईन इव्हेंट करायचा झाला तर कुठल्या कमिटीज त्याच्यातल्या कमी होतील हे ऑटोमॅटिकली येईल. सो लेट अस लुक इनटू अ ब्रॉडर पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह, right? So digital platform committee essentially we are speaking about. So that's where you can include this digital platform activities. Can we put this over here and let us include this? Okay, so let us include this over here, digital platform activities, because that's a part of advertising itself, right? So whatever we were discussing now, what we can consider now, e-brochure. So first you have to prepare the e-brochure and then you have to float it across various digital platforms, right? So this will come in the activity under the advertising committee. Okay, so now let us go back to the next one and let's look into which is the next committee that we can decide. Permission committee, management committee, food security. Okay, so advertising and digital platform, these are both taken care of. Outdoor committee, management committee. Okay, so let us pick up this management committee over here. Now what will the management committee essentially look into? So that's where I can say that the management committee has to decide, okay, with respect to, now this is the all the decisions will be essentially with respect to the competition, right? So holding of the competition, as we have looked into or we have identified that there will be 10 streams. So how many prizes do we keep? Do we have prize specialization wise and UG/PG separate prizes or specialization wise prizes? Okay, so that's where they will be deciding upon the number of prizes that we will be distributing. So even if we decide to distribute prizes, okay, for different specializations like finance, marketing, IB, HR and IT, 5 specializations, sixth one is operations. So 6 specializations if we decide specialization wise prizes. So that's where again first, second and third prize if we decide. So that's where it will be 6 specializations, okay, into 3 prizes. So that's where we come up with total number of prizes that will be 18 specialization wise. Then you have to decide with respect to the amount of prizes. Okay, how much for first, second and third prize. Now before coming to prizes, this is about the prizes. Then before coming to prizes, or if we want, we can have a separate committee for prizes as well. So let's do that. Okay, we can have this as a separate committee. Let us keep this somewhere over here. Okay, and now when we are thinking about management committee, so let us decide how are we going to manage this competition as such. So from the perspective of competition, okay, you will be deciding upon, okay, that's where the decision will come from the management committee, which are the type of colleges that we will be including, number of colleges. Secondly, number of entries from each college. Do we restrict them or we do not restrict them? Okay, then we will be looking into essentially the manner in which the competition will be held. So when we speak about the manner or the process, so under manner, now we will be having point number 1. Okay, first we will be taking a PPT presentation. We will be calling from the students. Okay, again the format of the PPT will be decided. So PPTs will be accepted. Then there will be a screening process, okay, with respect to the PPTs that we will be receiving. Now, after this screening process, in case there are any changes that are required, that changes will be communicated to the students. And once the final PPT is being received, okay, that is step number 5. Once the final PPT is being received, so that's where only then they can register themselves for the competition. Okay, so managing all this, number of colleges, number of entries from the colleges, okay, then and the manner in which we will be conducting. So accordingly, the dates have to be decided by what date the presentations will be received by all the students. Okay, first of all, the format will be decided, so that will be the first point. Okay, then the receipt of PPT's date has to be decided, then screening date, changes to be communicated back to the students, receiving final PPTs, after that again deciding the date, by what date the PPTs will be received, and then allowing them to register for the competition, so that this will ensure that whatever presentations will be given by the students on the projects that are prepared by them, they are in the same format. Later on, there shouldn't be any chaos with respect to my PPT had more slides, this PPT had less slides, it was more, mine was more informative, it was no. A standard format is decided, number of slides, what's to be mentioned in the presentation, how much time that you have to speak on. So again, yes, so again, we can say timing of presentation. Okay, then how many number of no, we don't have a group presentation of over here, individual will be presenting, so no question of that. So timing of presentation and question answer round, that will be decided by so timing, that's where we are having timing for presentation. Okay, and then we can have a time for question answer round over here. So this is all with respect to management of how, or the manner in which the competition will be held. Question and answers by the judges, right? Yes, anything else you would like to add with respect to management of the actual competition as such? There are many more committees to come, right? So that's where we have taken care of this management committee. Yes, then we come to the jury. So that's where you all meant with respect to judges, I believe, right? Or the guest committee as such. So yes, what happened over here? Okay, so it was interconnected somewhere there. Okay, so this was with respect to the management committee. Okay, then let us look into the third committee, that is the guest committee. Okay, what will come under the guest committee? Guest committee or jury or whatever name you call it. Yes, can you all come up with the points now? Yes, anybody? What will be the starting point for the guest committee? Yes, what happened? Why are you so this thing today? Yes. So first of all, you need to decide from different specializations from which you will be calling your guests from. Okay, from finance background, international business background, operations background, IT background. You will be having the different which specializations you will be calling. Number of guests has to be decided upon. Okay, then you have to make invitations to the guests, find out their suitability. Okay, then you have to finalize the panel. Who are the guests that will be coming? Okay, for which you need to have some communication. That's where you will be coordinating with the faculty members. They might be giving you some the names of the guests, or they can come from the students or from the management as such. Okay, so that's where things need to be finalized. Then with respect to the arrangements to be made for the guests. Okay, now these arrangements could be with respect to picking up the guests, arrangements for commuting. Okay, from commuting till what you can say till the time you can say till the completion of the entire event as such. How are you going to manage the guests? So that will be entirely taken care by the guest committee. Okay, so one more committee we have looked into. So that's where guests or jury are taken care of. Yes. Then we look into the food committee as such. So that's where. So now this is committee number 4, that is food committee. So essentially, with respect to let us have somewhere over here. Let's remove this. Okay, food committee. So that's where essentially you will be looking into how are you going to take care of the guests when they arrive. Okay, then secondly, what will be the breakfast for the students as such, breakfast for the guests as such. Okay, then in between, in case like the competition starts in the morning, say by 9:30 or 10 after the breakfast, then from 10 to 12 or 1 where the competition will go, then you have to take care of the lunch. Okay, for both the students as well as for the guest, or only for the guest, you have to decide accordingly. Okay, students meaning thereby the participants here we are speaking about. Then you have to take care of the tea, okay, in between in the afternoon. And that's how you take care of the food required at different moments of time, right? So this is with respect to the food committee that we have looked.
Ma'am, drinking water facility.
Yes. Yes. What did you say?
Drinking water means प्याला पानी पीते
Yes. Very important. Very good. So drinking water facilities that you will be looking into. Yes. And one more thing, that's what. So when you are actually when the students, even whether they have registered or that day itself they will be registering, so that's where you will be giving them coupons, right? For coupon for breakfast, coupon for no need for tea, because that will be served during the competition itself within the auditorium. But then essentially for the lunch as well as for the breakfast, you will be giving them coupons, so they have to submit it and then accordingly they can have their lunch, right? So that's how it takes place. So
Disposal
yes,
of plates.
okay, disposal of plates, very good. But essentially what happens is the person to whom we are giving the contract with respect to lunch or dinner, they take care of everything many a times, with respect to carrying the necessary plates, the spoons, the tissue papers, the bowls, okay, and things like that, and where they are to be disposed. So they decide where the things are to be. Yes, but essentially you need to look into the arrangements for the same. Okay, so point number 7 is arrangements. Okay, now these arrangements again could be arrangements could be with respect to what you can say, the place where you are going to have your breakfast or lunch. Okay, then where the sitting arrangement as to where you can look into, so that's where we can have the different points as to place. Okay, then you can take care of disposal of the things. Okay, then essentially where you are going to uh, seating arrangement as such. Okay, where the guests will be having their lunch, and then where the participants will be having their lunch. In case the guests are required to sit in the auditorium and they are having, or they are having a different cubicle for the same, then who is going to serve the guests as such? So serving of guests. Okay, then yes, that's it, I believe. Okay, and disposal. So all these arrangements we'll be looking into. So these are the different activities that are taken care of as far as the food is concerned. Then once the food is taken care of, then uh, okay, then outdoor committee. Someone spoke about outdoor committee. What did you mean exactly by the outdoor committee? Can you all come up now? क्या सोच के आपने आउटडोर कमिटी बोला था? What I believe is outdoor committee could be with respect to outside the organization. एक तो how do we take care of the advertisement? Okay, how do we, who are the guests that we will be calling, or the judges? And then essentially outdoor committee would mean how do we, invite the judges and things like that, and students going outside the college and doing the advertisement to the different colleges. So if that's what probably you all meant by outdoor committee, then that is taken care of by different committees. Is there any other perspective you were looking into this? Okay, so it's taken care of. So let us delete this. Then permission committee. Okay, what did you all mean by the permission committee over here? Because essentially when we start the activity, it is with the meetings, and also it is as per the consent of the different faculty members, management, and student in charges that are involved into this. Okay, permission maybe if you're speaking from point of registration and things like that. So let us remove this permission committee and let us name this as a separate registration committee over here, right? uh, okay, so that's where we are having a registration committee. Now we have already decided that when will the students register for this program. So before registering themselves, they have to go through the brochure, they have to prepare the brochure as such, they have to prepare the presentation of their own, they'll be sending the presentation to us. Okay, then we will be looking, screening the presentation. In case there are any changes, we'll be informing them, and they have to send the PPT by a specific date, and that's where they can register themselves. So when we are speaking about registration, essentially that's where we have framed the rules for the registration. So we have to see to it that everything goes as per the rules as far as registration is concerned. Then we look into on day registration. Okay, so now rules will be with respect to the students who have registered prior, but you can keep the entries open on the day of the event also. So that's where certain number of students can say that yes, we are our final presentation has been selected, but then we will be coming on that day itself, we will register themselves and we will be entering into the competition. So you have to take care of that perspective also. So that's where in the morning when the students arrive for the purpose of competition, you will be having a separate desk for registration, okay, wherein they will be having the necessary, what you can say, details or detailed list of the students who have already registered, right? The students will be essentially showing the I-cards against which they will be signing for the registration in that list that they are present. Coupons will be handed over to them, and that's where, in case they haven't what you can say, given the final presentation, if you are keeping that day also you are receiving the final presentations, then there has to be someone to take care of the presentations that will be given by them, maybe by mail or through a pen drive, right? So that's where the registration committee will take care of. Okay, then detailed list they will be coming with, and they will be coming with the final count of the number of students who have who have arrived actually for the competition. Now this final count will then be conveyed to the breakfast committee as well as to the lunch committee. Maybe breakfast we won't be able to make many changes, but yes, it is going to affect the number of this thing for lunch for sure. Anything else if you would like to add into over here, we can think of. Okay, now in connection with the registration committee, what I could think about right now, right, within the discussion itself, is we are going to have the certificate committee as such. Now, what will this committee look into? It will be looking into the design of the certificate. Essentially, how will it be? It will be you prepare a, what you can say, you prepare a prototype and then you show it to the faculty members, get it approved from them. Once it is decided, then you have to decide upon the number of certificates. Okay, then those students who will be coming for the like will be participating in the competition, they will be essentially receiving the participation certificates, as well as those who receive the prizes, they will also be receiving the certificates. So participation, and that's where we have for the prizes. Now those students who actually arrive at the competition, you get the count from the registration committee, and that's where you will be putting them the names of the students who have participated essentially should come in the participation certificates. So that's where writing names on the certificates, this will be one activity that will be taken care of side by side. Not only the names will be taken and included, but also it has to be signed by the necessary authorities. Who will be the authorities? The authorities will be one of the judges, it will be the director of the college, as well as it will be one of the, what you can say, senior most faculty members who is looking into the arrangement of this entire competition. Okay, and the manner in which the certificates are being handed over or actual distribution of these certificates before the students move out from the competition. Okay, so just as we have certificate committee now over there, next committee that I could think of is with respect to prizes. So now with respect to prices, we have probably the budget that has to be, it has to be an approved budget. Okay, then we decide the number of prizes. Okay, then what do we give for prize? So actually actual prize that we are looking into, is it a medal, is it a cup? Okay, along with the certificate what you will be distributing, and finalize on that the actual prize that will be giving. Right, and as and how the competition is going on, collecting the names of the students, collecting prize winners details. So in these details, essentially you will be having the name of the student, the college of the student, and the prize that he has received, along with the specialization in which he will be getting the prize. Right, so this is with respect to the prize committee. So number of prizes and amount of prizes, or that comes actually into the budget. So that's where we can copy this and put it over here. So even this thing is taken care of now. Okay, so 7 committees up till now. Okay, then let us go back to our discussion sheet, what we looked into one by one. Security. Okay, so security, instead of security, can we call this as discipline committee? Do you all agree? So that's where we are having this committee number 8. Okay, so discipline and security. Okay, so for security, we need essentially volunteers who will be from the college. Okay, volunteers number. Then at what locations exactly we need these disciplines? In case we are carrying out the competition in 4 verticals, 2 verticals, okay, the number of places where the students are presenting, there will be audience. So do we have just one such auditorium or 2 or more such auditoriums? Accordingly, we will be needing the number of volunteers, right? Yes, so that's where discipline committee again, yes, that's where. So at the time of registration and at the actual venue where this thing will be carried out. Okay, and how do we recognize? So recognition, where they will be having different batches as such that they will be what you can say, they will be having to identify that these are the people from the discipline and security committee. So in case even participants need any help, they will be there to help them throughout the competition. Okay, now which other committee is left out? Organizer, hall and hostel committee. Okay, so actual, if we look into, so this is committee number 9. Okay, so that's where let us come into the hall arrangements. In hall arrangements, okay, again we will be having different types to be taken care of. Can anybody come up with the same? Chair arrangements, then okay, you can say on the dais. Okay, number of chairs and tables. Then where we have placards on the table to identify the guests. So that's where we have Mr. So-and-so, senior manager of so-and-so company. So placards for the identification of the guests. Then where we have a small puja that is being conducted, Saraswati Puja or Ganesh Puja, before we start the competitions, to look into the details. Okay, then that's where we can also have some sort of small decoration that will be that will be done on the in the form of a notice board or for the puja. Okay, and where again on the dais we will be having the, what you can say, essentially the banners for holding the competition. So putting up of the banners for the competition. Yes, anything else and anybody wants to say? Hall arrangements, then again, yes,
Felicitation.
yes, felicitation. So exactly as you said, now this is with respect to hall arrangements, and then we are having the anchoring committee. Okay, now when you spoke about felicitation, essentially whenever you are felicitating the guests, so that's where you need some students for felicitation purpose. Okay, in order to carry the bouquet or the shawl or the shriffle, whatever you have planned to give the guests, so you want the students to be ready over there. Next, we are having the anchoring committee. Now, the anchoring committee will be deciding on the number of anchors, because we cannot have one anchor who will be taking care of the entire event from morning till evening. So we'll be having a number of anchors in order to give the, what you can say, the description of the guest, why we are holding this such an organization, then some introductory remark on the college, right? So number of anchors, then essentially we will be having some anchors too for introduction, okay, introduction of the event, then for the purpose of giving the vote of thanks, introduction of speakers and the event, and someone will be giving vote of thanks. Some of the anchors would be essentially looking into the prize distribution ceremony as such, okay. So that's where we are having the anchoring committee. Again, within the hall arrangement, again we have identified 8 of them, okay. So that's where I can say that now this committee will again be taking care of the mementos to be given to the guests, okay. So yes, so that's where the anchoring committee comes into the picture. So now let's go back and look into the things. Physical presentations and submissions, I think this is already taken care of. Topics, there is no need to come up with the topics. Instead, we will be having different, what we can say, specializations, and different specializations accordingly the project topics will be there. Then hall arrangements, hostel arrangements we don't need because we just have a one-day event, okay. Organizer arrangements, anything else left out in organizing?
नाही मॅडम.
Yes. So we remove this. Okay, now let us look into the contribution of Deepika. As far as permission is concerned, Deepika, it's taken care of within the what you can say, the meetings itself. Invitation committee, yes, we don't have a separate committee as such for invitation, but yes, we can have a communication committee as such. Now in communication committee, essentially we start from communication to be given to where we will be doing the invitation to the guests, okay. Then in order to receive the presentations from students of different college, okay. Then okay, in the management committee itself, we had the screening committee. So after the screening is done, what you can say, you have to communicate back to the students. So what are the results of the screening process? That has to be communicated to the participant, okay. Screening process results. Then essentially, you also need to tell them about changes. Like once you screen, you said everything is okay. If it is not okay, then you have to tell them to make the changes. Changes are made by the participants and you receive back. So that's where changes received, communication has to be done to the participants, okay. And then in case they are registering after that, so registration registration communication has to be done to the students, final registration, okay. And then in case there is on the spot registration, okay, on the spot registration, then essentially this will be taken care of by the registration committee, as well as it has to be communicated to the communication committee as well, okay. So this will be taken care of by the communication committee as such. So invitation is taken care of, venue will be already decided in the meetings, and that's where hall arrangement committee will be taking care of this. Meetings, let us think about that. Date, fees, visits by students to different colleges, visit by guest to the college, so this will be taken care of by the guest committee. Entry forms will be taken care of the management committee. Receipts, Judges invitation, we are having judges committee. Equipments hired, banners, advertisement, chief guest, this printing will be taken care of by advertisement committee. Okay, then equipments hired. So instead of equipment hired, in order to see to it that the entire process is taken care of smoothly, so that's where we will be essentially having a, what you can say, a technical committee as such. Okay, technical committee that will be taking care of what you can say, uh, the presentation in the auditorium. Okay, the manner in which the, now right from presentation, that will be actually point number 2, starting of the event. So where in the starting of the event, that's where we will be having the details of the event in the form, like just like a brochure that will be displayed, that whenever the chief guests are giving their opinion about, or whenever they are asked to speak on the dais or give a welcome note, that's where the speakers, what you can say, biodata in brief or their achievements, right? So that will be displayed. So technical committee, so that's where you will be having your what you can say, brochure display. After once everything starts, then probably you can have a prayer, okay, for the starting of the event. Then after the prayer, you can have the, what you can say, mm, information of the guest in short, that will be displayed as and how the guest comes to speak on the dais, so people are aware about what is the role played by him in that specialization in the respective organization, okay, and his contribution. So that's where it will be given. And then finally, where the students will be lined up for the PPT's presentations of the students. Okay, so essentially these have to be collected from the students and they will have to be arranged, and as and how the students join, then that's where it will be displayed and they will be responsible for running the presentation, running the show as such. Right, so this is what the technical team is supposed to take care of. Yes. Okay, so anything else left out? Banners are done in the advertisement, chief guest committee, printing goes in advertisement, entries registration committee. Last date that will be decided by the management committee. Arrangements, we are having hall arrangements, manager as a control point. Okay, entry passes, prizes, snacks, bouquets. Okay, so control point. Now with respect to, now let us look into how many committees we have identified. 12 committees as such we have identified. Each of the committees will be looking into a list of activities. Okay, now what we haven't identified over here is essentially the control points as given by Deepika. How are you going to? So that's where each and every committee head over here will be deciding a control point as to by which date, what are the things that are required to be done. And in the every 10 days or 15 days meeting as such, we will be looking into whether the things are going as per the plan and within the budget or no. Or if no, then things have to be worked out accordingly. Okay, so this is about the control point. And now when we spoke, now if you look into the chart that we have listed, committees, activities, sequencing. So again, we have just dotted down the activities. Probably we can move a point here and there for sequencing of the activities. Inputs required and outputs desired, right? So what are the inputs required? Over here, for the purpose of advertisement, the inputs that will be required is the decisions that are given in the meeting of the management and the faculty and the student what you can say, student in charge meetings, whatever has been decided. So accordingly the inputs will be going to all the committees, and the output from the advertisement committee would be how many number of colleges they have visited. Okay, then how many number of registrations are people ready to join, how many number of participants, okay, how many banners. Then the output by this committee could be again in the form of budget that they would be requiring in order to take care of the activities and so on. Okay, similarly food, again input will be coming from the meetings, and the output would be in the form of the actual food that is being served, and the billings and the things like that. So we haven't included budgets anywhere over here. So budget will be again a part of each and every committee. Okay, and then that's where what are the different functional departments that we can connect with each of the committee. So advertising committee, they will be coming in contact with the, you can say, administration staff of the college. Almost all the committees who need to get their budget sanctioned, they will be taking care of they will be coming in touch with the admin department of the college as such. Admin department, then just necessary, what you can say, authorizations required, where you might have to go to the director or the dean of the college and things like that. So these are the different departments that will come into the picture, right? So yes, so this is a big list of things, and this is what I had expected from you. मला असं वाटलं होतं की तुम्हाला जेव्हा चर्चा करायला वेळ दिला जाईल तेव्हा तुमच्या चर्चेमधनं हे बाहेर येणं एक्सपेक्टेड होतं, राईट? आता आपण काय बघितलं, वेगवेगळ्या कमिटीज बघितल्या, आणि प्रत्येक कमिटी काय काय काम बघणारे हे बघितलं. आता ह्या कामाचा सिक्वेन्स आधी काय येईल, नंतर काय येईल, कुठल्या ठराविक वेळेपर्यंत ह्या गोष्टी झालेल्या असल्या पाहिजेत, त्या नाही झाल्या तर त्याची करेक्टिव्ह ऍक्शन कुठल्या पद्धतीने घ्यायचे, ह्या सगळ्याचा मिळून एक प्रोसेस मॅप तयार होतो. सो प्रोसेस मैप का मतलब एसेंशियली ये होगा कि कौन सी एक्टिविटीज कौन सी कमिटी करेगा, किस तरीके से करेगा, किस डेट तक वो एक्टिविटी कंप्लीट होनी चाहिए, ताकि हमारा जो इवेंट है वो सक्सेसफुल होगा. तो आप देखोगे, आप एक प्रोसेस मैप के लिए कितने सारे इनपुट्स लगेंगे, राइट? ये एक सादा सा छोटा सा एक दिन का इवेंट हम लोग सोच रहे एक कॉलेज में कंडक्ट करने के लिए. Now imagine into a business organization, where a business organization has a number of functional departments working together. Okay, that's where you are having the human resource department, the finance department, marketing department, sales department, production department. Okay, and where the actual production process is carrying out. Think about, with one single process, what are the different departments that it will be, they could be interlinked with. So this is just a small event of 1 day activity that we are conducting, right? So yes, so that's where we stop over here for today. We'll come up with, not if a similar example of this type, we'll come up with the brainstorming activity one more time. So now you are aware of, and next time I'll make sure to give you more details as to what you are supposed to discuss among yourselves, right? I hope you have thoroughly gone through and understood the process with this example of ours. Yes, so that's where we stop for today. We continue next time, right? Yes, anything anybody would like to add to or contribute, feel free. Okay, everybody tired? Yes, so that's where we stop over here for today. So this is what I'll be saving, and I'll be passing it to you all as a brainstorming exercise done in the class. Yes, so thank you, class. See you on Wednesday.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Ma'am.